Real leadership isn't scripted.
You don't have to know everything as a leader, but you must ensure that everything is known.
It is messy, it is brilliant, it is real.
Maybe because I've always had this.
Welcome to another episode of Leadership Unscripted, our very wonderful platform where we get to interview our African transformational leaders, telling us about their real stories, the facts behind the scenes, and everything that has helped them to become the leaders we so much love and admire. On today's episode, I am delighted to welcome my brother, my chairman, my colleague on this transformational journey, Mr. Oluwakayode Adigun, popularly known as Pakay. Welcome, Pakay.
Thank you very much, Abiola, for having me here and on this platform. I'm so excited already. Thank you.
Thank you for the honor. Now, Oluwakayode Pakay Adigun is a visionary leader in Africa's financial services landscape. He brings transformative expertise across banking, technology, and operations throughout Nigeria, South Africa, and beyond. As chairman of Ednison Consulting and chairman of the project team for the globally acclaimed CIO and C-Suite Awards, Pakay has cemented his reputation for recognizing and elevating executive excellence across the continent. His impressive credentials include postgraduate studies at the Cranfield University, UK, Lagos Business School, complemented by specialized training at Queen's Business School, Canada. A certified coach and Dale Carnegie accredited trainer, he pioneered Nigeria's first indigenous world-class central processing center at the FCMB. Currently serving as the Group CEO of Tech Partners Incorporated Limited, which he co-founded in 2021. Pakay sits on multiple boards spanning financial services, technology, renewable energy, and education sectors. He's known for his forthright yet inspiring leadership style. He remains guided by his core values of godliness, enterprise, and relationship building, creating environments where individuals and organizations reach their full potential. Welcome again, Pakay.
Thank you very much. And good evening, good afternoon, good morning to our audience all over the world.
Now, Pakay, let's start with Tech Partners Incorporated. As a co-founder and the group CEO, what exactly does your role entail? That's number one. And how do you balance vision with execution in such a dynamic industry?
Okay, thank you. To the first question in that order, my role as the group CEO is more of strategic, because as you get to the position of leadership, you shouldn't be found doing things operationally. You should be more strategic, supporting the people that actually do the work, inspiring them, and giving them the kind of support from that level. And that's why in leadership, one of the things I tell people is that the pyramid has been inverted to be a cone. So leadership should actually be at the bottom, carrying everybody on top. So essentially, at Tech Partners Inc., my job as the group CEO is to give direction, essentially strategically, to initiatives that I have or other members of staff do have. And it's a small company, but we've done quite a lot. I think this second question is about aligning vision with execution.
Absolutely.
I think it is one of the critical areas that leaders need to look at. Anybody can do strategy. Executing strategy, which is the plan, is what is very key. And because you might have a vision, but you need people to even assist to make it a reality.
Absolutely.
So having a vision. So initially when we started Tech Partners, three things were at the back of our mind. Invest in a microfinance bank and turn it into a digital bank, which of course is going on now. Then use technology to drive a lot of initiatives around distributive trade, consumer lending, and all those things. And then the third thing is about customer experience. The first two we've been able to do successfully. The third one is what we are planning for later this year, 2025 and beyond. In terms of tech partners, for me, and I think is the belief of my other colleagues on the board and even the management, is that we should provide economic and financial inclusion and empowerment, especially to the underserved, and then to provide access to credit or what we call loans to MSMEs, SMEs, and emerging commercial businesses, which of course today, as a country, we've not really paid attention to the cottage industry,
True.
where you organically and domestically develop the economy from inside, not looking at outside. And these are the things that countries like India, Kenya, China, and all these stuff have done. People that bake cakes at the back of their houses, people that do gardening, people. So for me, we are looking at MSMEs, SMEs, and emerging commercial businesses to support them, essentially.
Wow. Wow. Pakay, thank you so much for the great insights you've provided on tech partners and this innovative work, your achievements, and of course, I can see the strong focus on the underserved part of our ecosystem, which a lot of people, like you said, we just are not just aware, or rather, I don't want to use the word we ignore. And then, just stepping back a little into how you started, that your leadership style should be in the cone, structure.
Not the pyramid.
Yes, not the pyramid. I mean, that will help a lot of us reframe our thoughts and perspective about leadership and how effective leadership should be defined. Thank you so much for those insights. I will be rooting for you, looking forward to seeing all of your scorecards and all this innovation that you put in the pipeline, come to fruition. Well done, well done. So your career, very interesting one, has spanned banking, financial services, and technology across multiple countries. Would like to, for you to tell us what were the pivotal moments or decisions that shaped your journey into becoming the transformational leader that we know you are today. Please tell us.
Again, thank you very much. These are, and I like the theme for this entire program, Unscripted, because we are talking about real life experiences, not something that is constricted or is formed somewhere in a book and theory. For me, decision making is one of the key critical points of a good leader.
There you go.
A lot of people think leaders have it all together, a go-to person. They don't realize that even leaders have their challenges. More often than not, leaders find themselves in a position of loneliness and being spent and not being rewarded. People don't really know that. But decision making is one of the, like I said, it's one of the critical areas, pivotal areas for a successful leader. For me, the main decision moments are driven by grace to refuse or to accept certain things.
Wow.
As a leader. And I'll give you one or two instances. I was in Citibank and did a cross posting to South Africa. From there, my career had been planned. From South Africa to go to Kuwait, from Kuwait come back to Senegal or something like that, or Cote d'Ivoire, and become in those days what we call senior country operations officer. It's cool. But along the line in South Africa, after 2 years, I just felt I can't continue in my career like this, because in those days, Citibank used to be exclusively investment banking.
Okay.
I wanted some experience in retail banking.
Okay.
And as at the time I was considering, and with other things that happened in South Africa, as at the time I was considering coming back home, the opportunity came from FCMB. It was year 2005 when the massive mergers happened in the banking industry.
Correct.
And I was called to come and help to transform and structure the operations of FCMB, because FCMB just merged the three other banks, Nambul, Midas, and one other bank. And I was happy with the responsibility of that. So I came back home. I remember vividly well my wife, Pakay, as you know her. He said, I think your people in the village are after you because your parents are dead.
Wow.
It took me to talk to my spiritual father,
Wow.
PTB, to talk to her before she accepted for me to come home. But today is history. She's the better for it.
Wow.
So in terms of decision making, is very hard sometimes for leaders to make decisions. Again, making decisions about people management is very key. So in terms of decision making, the moment of refusing and accepting certain things have to come to play, and those are the moments of challenges for me in decision making.
Wow. Thank you so much, Pakay. It sounds to me like there are some values around your person that I was almost like Pakay should just nail it, while you're talking about decision making and why you need the grace for you to be able to take a stand. I would like to have a peep into some of those values that have shaped you into who you have become today. And, just give us a few instances of how these values have played out in helping your career trajectory, your, elevation, and a lot of the things that are attributed to your leadership.
In terms of value, the first thing for me in leadership as a value or a virtue is humility.
Oh wow, I didn't see that coming.
Other people want, but for me, over the years, in this my short stay on earth, I
Wow.
think humility is the best. And I'll tell you again what humility is and what it is not. Let's start with what it is not. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. So people think humility is let me go and sit in a corner. But humility is about thinking less of yourself, but
Okay.
putting other people above you.
Okay.
Not thinking of yourself less, but thinking less of yourself. So putting other people ahead of you. So humility is a very key ingredient for successful leadership. Another value for me is integrity. Again, I'll explain to you what integrity is. For me, forget about all the definitions in the Webster dictionary and all those things. They are right. But from experience, integrity for me does not mean you will not fail. So people think when you fail, you are not a man of integrity. No. Without trying to sound like a Christian, if we still live in this vessel, we are bound to fail. But you are not a failure because you failed. But you are a failure because you refuse to rise up. So integrity has like 5 elements in it. Number 1 is that when you fail, accept responsibility, accept that you have failed. Number 2, accept responsibility for the failure. Number 3, be ready to face the consequences. Number 4, be ready to make amendments and then move on. That's integrity for me. So integrity is another very key fundamental value for me in leadership. There are others, but if you have humility and integrity, people will follow you.
My thoughts are already being reframed by what you're saying because we all play somewhere within this ecosystem called leadership. And we're glad that we're hearing this from you. It's still leadership unscripted. So tell us, Pakay, in your view, what is the most underrated skill that truly defines a successful leader, but often gets overlooked in leadership conversations? It's almost like you've told us already, but let me hear it from you again.
You'll be surprised what it is. It's about self.
Oh, oh.
The most underrated value about leadership, even to leaders themselves, is about self.
Tell me.
And I'll expand it a bit more. It should be self-leadership first.
Absolutely.
Somebody that cannot lead himself or lead a family or lead a group of 2, 3, why are we giving him a leadership role? So it's about self, leading yourself first, having those intrinsic values that portray you as somebody people want to follow. And it goes both ways, whether you're a good leader, whether you are a quote unquote righteous leader or you're a wicked leader. But when they've seen that you can lead yourself, and it comes to like integrity, people will follow you. So self leadership first, then self-awareness
Fantastic.
is another very key ingredient that leaders should, that they underrate. Self-awareness. You don't have to know everything as a leader, but you must ensure that everything is known. So when people
the
come
tough
to you,
part.
so when people come to you, at least you should be able to give some thoughts around the topic that has been brought to you. So a leader is expected to be aware of his environment, of the ecosystem, like you said, where he's leading. People don't want to come to you as a leader, looking up to you and say, please let me check with, let me come back to you, always. Nobody wants to follow someone like that. So just to conclude on self-awareness, also you have to be aware of yourself, your limitations, your weaknesses, and all those, your strengths, what they call the SWOT analysis, whatever
Absolutely.
it is. So that's self-awareness. Then the third one is self-decision.
Self-decision.
Yes. You must be very firm and stand in your decision making. And don't be shy or scared to say, I made a mistake yesterday. It shouldn't have been like that. It's like this about my decision. And then let's go this way. So self basically is the most underrated value or virtue of a leader. And in those three ways, basically.
Thank you, Pakay. I actually wish you could write a book on this because it is indeed the most underrated. We just go into the deep dive. Leadership is about this. It's about taking, it's about achievements. It's about, and we forget about, and like you said in our earlier conversation, that it can really get pretty lonely. For us, it's always to push this to ensure that even in that state of loneliness, we are also investing into self-leadership, self-awareness, and self-decisions. Thank you so much. Now, I'm going to touch on something that you're absolutely passionate about. You said it at your intro. It's like you know for sure what your focus is as a transformational leader. And it's about the young people. In my words, I always say that you don't have a business leading followers as a leader. Your business is to birth other leaders. So I'm going to ask you, many young professionals today are eager, but they often stumble. So in your experience, Pakay, what is the biggest mistake you see the younger generation making as they enter the world of work or entrepreneurship?
That's a big one, not for me, but for the next generation. And I sincerely hope and pray that they will listen to this candid advice. Anywhere this program is being relayed, anywhere, is that this generation, the major challenge they have, with all the positives, they are very strong, they are very agile, they can do a lot of things, multitasking, if there is anything like that. But one thing is about process, going through process. Earlier today, there is a woman that does some things for us that came around and we're discussing. And I was telling her that I'm scared about the next generation because of the value system. And the value system is being eroded because of lack of process. So you talked about entrepreneurship. Before you become an entrepreneur, you have to be an intrapreneur.
True.
People don't know that. There's a course of study now, is in major Ivy universities all over the world now. I think the only university in Africa that is offering that program is university in South Africa. It's called social entrepreneurship. One of the things they'll teach you, I mean at PhD level, one of the things they'll teach you is about entrepreneurship. And I'll give you an example. I so much like my brothers in the East about a program they call Umpa Boy.
Okay.
I'm sure you must have heard it. I don't know how true this is, but I heard that Harvard Business School has taken that program as a course of study.
Oh, wow.
So what is Umpa Boy is that an Igbo man will bring a young boy from the village and teach him the rudiments of trade to navigate how he does things. Maybe he sells goods.
That's a way of life.
Exactly. And then what we call freedom.
Yeah.
The guy graduates.
And he sets him up.
With even people, resources, and capital. Yes. And then he continues to grow. How do you find such a boy of 5-8 years ago missing his way? Hardly. Because he's been groomed. He's gone through the process. He knows all the things to look out for. And more importantly, when there's a challenge, he knows where to go back to say, oh, I want to do this. What do you... And so he will bring a wine or something to say, I've come to see you, my mentor. I want to do this. What do you... I said, don't invest in that. You will get it wrong. So Those are the kind of things that this generation really lacks, to go through the process of time. And the God Almighty who has created us is a God of process. Or else you will have said in 1 second, let there be everything. Why did he create everything in 6 days?
Yes,
It's about process. So one of the key things that I think this next generation, with all the positives they have, need to work on is process. Not to be in a hurry at all. I've seen a lady, she's 32, that has done 3 degrees just because she felt, no, I don't want to do that. No, this is what I want to do.
Wow.
But like they said, be coming down is a process. You will find your feet, you will find your way. But for me, about the next generation is being patient and go through process of life.
Pakay, thank you for those great insights. In fact, I am scared. I mean, from what you have said now, because it's becoming a big challenge, even for organizations looking at this younger generation, looking at them, engaging them, hiring them. A friend of mine was telling me categorically that there are certain organizations now that do not have a policy against hiring Gen Z and those that we're obviously talking about because of this huge gap. You get into an organization, 2 weeks later, your boss pisses you off, and then you just walk out. I heard some of them, they'll just call and say, look, my mental health can't carry this. And that's the end of the job. Because when they are being subjected through everything you've described, which is AKA process, they just flip.
Yes, and you'll notice that this is not only about career or education. As a matter of fact, it's deeper in lifestyle with this generation. And if you begin to look at some statistics, you'll be amazed. Let me tell you one, because that's my area again. Look at the percentage of broken homes in the last 5-8 years compared to 30-40 years ago. And one day I was talking to some of them and I said, oh, that man has been my friend for 45-48 years. Say, friend, how can you be friends for 45, 40? What are you doing? I said, but that's what friendship is all about.
Exactly.
Is friends in the same ship. You just don't let it go like that. So they get worried about, oh, you work in Citibank for 12 and a half years. Oh, you worked in FCMB for 15 years, 5 months. And you didn't feel, I said I was fulfilled.
Absolutely.
Because I was going through process of training. And that's what made me to be who I am today.
Absolutely. I can't wait for that particular episode where we even have this conversation with them to have an insight into how they are planning to reshape and reframe their world, because we are who we are because of a lot of the things that we've definitely gone through in life that has strengthened us, that has made us to enhance and instill, values that are now just like in our DNA at the moment. Thank you, Pakay. Now I'm going to be bringing this home. It's still Leadership Unscripted, people. Pakay, you're also the brain behind initiatives like the CIO Awards and Club Africa, right? These are our babies. We gave birth to these babies together because you were the very first person that the thought of an IT award in Nigeria was mentioned to. And like we say all over the world, you literally carried it on your head. Like you incubated the idea. So it's really a blurry line when we talk about the awards and Pakay is not featured in it. It's in fact, it can't be a complete line. It can't be a complete, story. So I want to know, now we are here, never asked, what inspired you to support this vision? What was it that you saw from this young lady that's, yours truly, that made you say, sister me, this thing, we'll work on it. And then literally you spoke this very transformative project into. What inspired you? What did you see in that year when you got that call?
Looking back to 2020, the COVID year, I've looked back several times to say, come, they just told you something once and you just latch onto it. But we thank God for how far He has brought us in 5 years. I think 2 things really about my nature. One is just giving opportunities to people, just to express themselves. No matter who you are, race, gender, religion, whatever. just give people opportunity to express themselves. First and foremost, the convener. How can a lawyer who is not in tech want to think about CIO awards? At that point, I was thinking, will it only be the award? It will go to any length, but I don't know where. But let's just give her a chance. Let's support this moment. Then people that partner with us, and then the awardees or the recipients of the award, let's give them a chance. We just concluded a major project, work-life balance, in 2019 in FCMB, just before the COVID, as if we knew COVID was coming with Microsoft and Dell. I said, let people start working. I think it was because of the traffic and all those things in Lagos. Let people start working from home. Especially people that don't have to have physical interface with customers, with clients.
Yeah.
And that was the same thing that bore the Central Processing Center idea, shared services, in 2007. So so we just finished the project and COVID hit. And then you came and said, okay, let's do that. Just to give that recognition to those people that work at the back. Because as at then, there are something you might not know up till now, which I need to tell you, is that it became very difficult for IT, technology, and digital leaders to present a justification for their budget. So when they present it where you have sales leaders, risk leaders as EDs, you will be struggling. Say, okay, we said we should give you 500 million to do this technology. Oh yeah, justify. Because if they give me 500 million, I'll bring 650 million at the end of the year. So justify. They were struggling because they're always at the back end, and business development has not really been there. Yes. So with that, with the CIO and C-suite initiative, we started projecting people to give them confidence and initiative about how they can even speak to budget and negotiate budget of an institution or organization to say, okay, you are bringing this, I'm going to make sure we reduce error by 10-15%. That's the cost optimization. I'm going to make sure you increase revenue by 30%. And so the CIO project started giving people those kind of ideas. The second thing that's spurred me on is that as a transformative leader who believes so much in the blue ocean approach or strategy, is that let's go to uncontested market. Nobody has done this before in Nigeria or Africa. Let's go there. My philosophy is fail fast and cheap. If it doesn't work, we'll look for other means. But today, it didn't fail. It was fast. But it was not cheap.
It was expensive.
It was expensive.
It is expensive.
But you can see where we are today. And all glory to God.
Absolutely. Thank you for Pakay for your unwavering support. This is a public appreciation again to Pakay for the many, many years of support, ownership, and just like he said to us about leadership, taking charge. You know, Pakay is one person that has become a household name here. He's sitting here today as our second distinguished guest because we knew that he would not say no. You know, our default with Pakay is always a yes, right? If we ever got a no from him, we'll be like, no, it's not Pakay. Let's ensure that, let's ask Pakay if it's really Pakay. So we thank you. And, you know, we can only ask that God will bless you more and more. Now, Pakay, you've often emphasized the values of godliness, enterprise, and relationship. You've demonstrated in everything we've said. But I still want to know, how do these principles influence your day-to-day decisions and leadership approach, especially in a competitive business environment? So we are switching it now from just, you know, the leadership landscape and some of the things you've said that have built you and the community you serve so diligently. But now let's look at business. You are a highly rated businessman who has done a lot within the ecosystem, you know, globally. So let's look at these values that you've always emphasized. I mean, anybody who knows Pakay like he has said, integrity and all of that. But let's just break it down. Give us, like a daily, this is Pakay daily life as he applies those principles of godliness, the principle of enterprise, and, relationships.
Okay. Godliness for me, um, and that will also be the umbrella for the other two, enterprise or what you call industry, and then relationship. This started way back as a teenager. Um, of course, I became an orphan at the age of 16, going to 17, and I looked around, no help from anybody except God, having two junior brothers to take care of. And from there, I knew that the only support I can have, although it will not come down, it will send people like you, people like my brother Wale, along my line, but it will be godliness, end to end. And the verse that says, contentment with godliness, with contentment is a great gain. For me, I tweaked it a bit. It's not that I'm changing the words of the Bible. I'm saying it's all gain. It's not great alone, it's all gain. And so that year, way back, as a teenager, it seems impossible. And I caught that phrase to say, if you remove I am from impossible, you put a demarcation between I am and possible, and put apostrophe after I, it becomes impossible. And that's what has always driven me. In God, I'm possible. I'm not impossible. And that's what I've carried all over in my heart, on my shoulders. That is my brain, my hands under God. That's what godliness means to me in business. In other areas, other things, but in business, like what we're discussing, that's what it means to me. My brain, my hand under God Almighty. And then when you come to enterprise or industry, the Yoruba say, from when I was born, I don't think I know any other thing apart from work. So even my girl say, why are you talking like this? I say, I'm my father's son. Say, but your father is there. I say, no, the father in heaven, because my father works, either to I work. The only thing I know how to do is to work. I don't know any other thing. Industry, enterprise, looking for solutions just to continue to work. Say, Emma, just rest. I say, I just have to work. That's why I couldn't call you yesterday when I came back. I was in the aircraft. Immediately I put on my phone, calls upon calls. I've been trying to reach you. I said, I've been in the air. So it's work. Then lastly is about relationship. Yes. Relationship is the currency of life. Absolutely. So, as a matter of fact, whatever you look at in life, the only thing we have is God. Call him Yahweh, call him God, call him Lord, call him El Shaddai, call him Jehovah, all those names. The only thing we have with him is relationship. There's no other thing. And so if the only thing we have with God is relationship, what else should we have among ourselves? Is relationship. I prefer to be cheated in a relationship than for me to be the cheat. Wow. And I've seen quite a lot among even my people. Wow. It's not that I'm foolish. In fact, I'm the wisest among them. Because if you cheat me and go ahead, more will come. True. So relationship is everything to me because it's the currency of life. You can't spend anything outside relationship. I prefer to have relationship than to have money. I tell people, I don't have money, but I have God and I have people all over the world.
Okay, you have money.
Some of my people, even when the children are growing abroad, I remember one of our brothers, the daughter was going to Norway. Say, in Norway, your daughter is going to Norway. I said, I have two people in Norway. Say, you know people in Norway.
The uttermost part of the earth.
I said, that's where I know God and I know people. I have people.
Wow. Gradually, we're bringing this to a close. But I would like to ask Pakay this one question because I know he's going to tell us, some great insights. He's going to share some great insight with us. So with Africa's digital and economic transformation gaining momentum, where do you see the biggest opportunities in the next 5 to 10 years, Pakay?
The opportunities are massive in sub-Saharan Africa among the blacks, especially because of the human capital resources, massive human capital resources we have all over the world. Africans, Nigerians especially, are doing wonderful things. You get to an industry in Canada, US, Europe, and you hear, oh, the person that is behind this initiative is in Nigeria. So for me, the future is bright. We are on the right course, and I'm not perturbed or discouraged about that journey. However, we are scratching the surface, and the reasons are not far-fetched of scratching the surface. The number one has to do with infrastructure.
True.
I always say this, I'm sure you must have heard me say it over and over. Let me repeat it again but summarize. There are 4 phases of industrial revolution that have happened all over the world.
Yes.
We are in the 4th phase of technology, and the general purpose tool is AI. People are talking about GPT, all those things. But we cannot actually be successful as a people in Africa if we don't have the right infrastructure to support these things.
True.
And what are the infrastructure? They are the last 2 before technology, which are telecoms and power. So the second phase was power, after the steam engine, and then followed by telecoms. In the last 3 days, see how our network has been fluctuating. You can't really get that for long in advanced countries or people that really need to do things. Don't let us talk about power. We are still struggling with the discos and the gencos, and then saying, should we do solar or not? Because of the kind of things I do, I can't afford to have a break in transmission on what I do. We had to invest in solar at home. In fact, the home is fast becoming a smart home.
Fantastic.
So, telecoms and power are supportive infrastructure, which are themselves faces industrial revolution to support technology. So, we need to really, really as a people, make sure we get those 2 right, and then we advance. Now, I'm building up a case to answer that. Where do I see us in 5-10 years?
Yes, please.
For us to be where we ought to be, even in 3 years, we need to do this. The second thing is about the stakeholders in driving financial and economic inclusion, because we still have the underserved in our nation. Is that, and there are 3 stakeholders: the government and the regulators, the enablers, which the banks, the OEMs, and all those things, and then the consumers, the customers themselves. And I'll take them in their stride. In terms of the government and the regulators, why can't we today have an alignment between the UID and the UPI, unique identifier, and the universal payment interface, so that we have just one, so that we have both of them integrated? Number 2, how can we have affordable devices that are QR code enabled, so that when we get anywhere, just scan or something, even to the rural areas. If you go to the supposed rural areas in China, India, even Kenya today, USSD and QR codes are, so make the devices affordable, cheap, and so that people can carry them. And then the last one is about the biometrics machine. That everybody can have biometric machine to register with BVN and or NIN and all those things. Then in terms of the enablers, we need to now become to be indigenous OEMs without going cup in hand to beg the Western world for everything we want to do.
That's right.
Today, we can build our own OEMs. Today, China and America, they are in bed because both of them need each other. And I generally will say, for instance, I can produce iPhone at $15 and I'll ship it to other countries. But when I bring it to America, I'll give you at $800. So those kind of things you can build. That's why I said organically and domestically grow and build.
All these opportunities.
Now to answer you, really, after building that case, is that we should concentrate again on the cottage industry. No country, no economy thrives really. Look at Singapore from 1965 to date.
Started their palm oil
Yes,
production. Yeah.
they even came here. Lee Kuan Yew came here in 1965 or 67.
Same thing with the UAE.
Yes. So indigenous cottage industries, let's encourage them. Let's give them the right capital. That's what Tech Partner is trying to do. Let them have the right capital. Give them the right technology. Today, there's a company called Crop to Cash. They use massive data to predict farming seasons. Those are the kind of things we should be doing as Africans, and we have the right resources to do. So in the next 5 years, 10 years, I see us being superpowers if we do all those things I mentioned earlier to build a foundation, a solid foundation for the things we want to do as a continent and as a nation.
Okay, we hear you. We hear you loud and clear. And for me, everything you have said is, if it's really going to be, then it's certainly up to us. Thank you for those great insights. I feel like if we had a bit more time, we would have been able to just, do like a dimensionalizing or a deep dive into those various sectors and what we will call out as the key action for the stakeholders, because it is what will help us pivot and, like you said, become the next bride, the OEM, and the things that we know we can absolutely do from Africa. And I'm glad that some of these are things that even the CIO and C-Suite Club Africa stands for, under those 4 critical pillars of empowerment, advocacy, research development, and becoming a center of excellence, where we can, because we have a massive stakeholder base where all the industries are represented. So I feel like it's something we can carry forward into a CIO and CISO Club Africa Summit. Thank you. Now we're bringing this to a close, but we won't let Pakay leave us without sharing some fun and, personal questions. So Pakay, we're going to be asking you some questions that will just give us some insight into fun facts about you. Because most of the time, you are very serious, Coco. When you start dropping all those research, some of us will just be like, you see, you have not read today. You can see there's a gap. So tell us, Pakay, what's something most people will be surprised to learn about you?
This question doesn't come to me as a surprise because I've had it over and over again. People always say, so what is it that is surprising to people? And when I tell them, I say, yes, you're right, it's surprising. I'm a very emotional person. Very, very deeply emotional person. I can be swayed. So what I've done, what I've mastered well, is I've been able to mask my emotions because of what I've been called to do. Number one, as a man. Number two, as a leader, even in my immediate and extended family, and then in the society and even the body of Christ. So I've been able to manage my emotions, not to show it, but I'm deeply emotional. Wow. Deeply emotional. Wow. For instance, this morning I woke up with being emotional. That's what woke me up this morning. Wow. To say I've been used and I feel lonely. That's what woke me up. Because I know I won't take it. Wow. And one of my sisters had to pray with me on phone when I told her. Wow. So I'm a very, very deeply emotional person. People don't know.
Thank you for letting us.
But don't try and use it against me. You can't get me.
No. Because you've also told us how you manage this. I was very, very matured, human person, leader, and also someone who is, focused on impact. So another fun question, Pakay, if you had a full day, completely free of work or obligations, how would you spend it? I'm interested in this one. Because you work. Pakay neither sleeps nor slumbers. Oh yeah, tell us so.
This is a very, very difficult question to ask me, honestly. Can I even, either by God or by human being, have a 24 or 12 hours? Because in the day it's 12 hours. Free time, 12 hours. Free. I doubt it.
I can see the struggle.
I doubt it. That is, I won't respond to either previous concerns, immediate concerns, or future concerns. How will I do that? For God's sake. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll just be eating, and I'm not a food person.
You're not eating once in a while. We know that.
So even while I'm watching movies, and I like Nollywood, I'm trying to process the lessons in the movie.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
and that's why I like football a lot, because football is like life itself.
Yeah.
You have a defender, you have.
It's interesting.
So that's what an organization is all about. You have the board, who is the coach, you have the MD, who is the goalkeeper, then you have.
I can see you're struggling with this. So let me ask you
I
a
can't.
final one. I'll definitely love to. I know you will have an answer for this. So if you could invite 3 people, whether they are living or they are dead, historical, or living or historical. Yeah. Or let me just make it simple. If you could invite 3 people to a dinner party, who would they be and why? Tell us.
My 2 parents and my grandmother.
Wow.
And I'll tell you why. I feel bad that I can't repay them for the investments they did in me.
Wow.
Although my grandmother stayed a bit longer and started work, but I feel, if they're around, I would have taken care of them.
Wow.
My 2 parents were wonderful human beings, wonderful, disciplinarian. Some of the lessons my father taught me still resonate with me so much. One of them is that whether it's a brand new car or an old car, if you go and service any car, don't take it out at night and don't travel with it. There is nothing you can do to me today that can go against that.
Wow.
It's a lesson from my father.
Wow.
He was an engineer. So the these 3 people, I would like to
profound.
see them at table and say, I just want to appreciate you for all the things you did
Wow.
in me, for me, by me, through me. So those are the 3 people I'll invite you to.
Thank you so much.
Unfortunately, they are no more around.
They are no more. But they are, the legacies, the things that you're doing now, I'm sure they are smiling down
Definitely.
and being very proud of the man that you have not only become, but the man that is also birthing other men, other women, and helping God, I would say, propel them into greatness. We have come to the end of this episode of Leadership Unscripted. And I know that we have had a tremendous time with Mr. Oluwakayode Adigun, our own Pakay. Thank you for keeping the time with us. I remain your host, Abiola Laseinde, convener, the CIO and C-Suite Awards Africa. Thank you for being with us today. Bye for now.